Have you ever felt that by always being good, people started to ignore you? As if your kindness had become a comfortable habit for others, but invisible to you. In this video, we'll talk about how kindness, when misdirected, can make you someone disposable. Drawing on Machiavelli's thoughts and concepts from modern psychology, we'll reveal why being just nice can put you at a disadvantage in a world that values those who assert themselves. It's not about abandoning kindness, but about understanding its limits and true weight. Maybe you'll discover that the problem was never being good, but not knowing the right moment to stop being so. Since childhood, we've been taught that being good is an absolute value. We're taught to share, to give in, to stay silent to keep the peace, to swallow our feelings so we don't seem rude. The problem is that often this taught kindness isn't a moral value, but a tool for social control. A good child is one who obeys, doesn't question, and accepts. And so, we grow up believing that if we are always kind, patient, and pleasant, the world will reward us. But reality is much harsher. The world doesn't always respond justly to kindness. Often it responds with exploitation, silence, and indifference. Many people aren't naturally good. They are good out of necessity. Kindness becomes a way to avoid rejection, punishment, or conflict. When someone says yes all the time, it's not always out of generosity, but out of fear. Fear of displeasing, of being seen as a problem, of losing the little space they've earned. This fear-shaped kindness disguises itself as virtue, but in practice, it serves to erase us. Gradually, we lose our voice, identity, and respect, all in the name of acceptance that, deep down, never truly comes. Those who get used to being the nice one in the group, family, or work risk becoming part of the background. Always there, always available, always willing, until the day they're no longer there, and almost no one notices. This happens because predictable kindness stops being noticed. It's expected as an obligation, not recognized as a choice. The nice one becomes someone who's always around but never at the center. They're respected for avoiding conflict, not for showing strength. And when they finally get tired, they're accused of having changed. But in truth, they just stopped erasing themselves. Being good is not the problem. The problem is when that kindness becomes submission. People who set boundaries are seen as strong, even if they're not always pleasant. Those who always give in, even with noble intentions, end up being seen as weak. The truth is simple, though uncomfortable. Those who don't assert themselves disappear. In a world where everyone is busy trying to survive, only those who balance empathy with firmness remain relevant. Being good doesn't mean giving up on yourself. It means choosing what is worth your energy. Those who don't understand this are only remembered when needed and forgotten soon after, because behind the mask of kindness, there can be a deep fear of rejection. And that's exactly where psychology comes in. No one is born trying to please all the time. This behavior is learned. In many cases, it is the direct result of an environment where love was conditional. Children who grow up hearing that good behavior brings affection and rewards, while mistakes lead to distance or punishment, quickly associate acceptance with obedience. From there, the pattern emerges, being nice not as a choice, but as an emotional survival strategy. Instead of developing their own identity, these people shape themselves based on others' expectations. This constant adaptation follows them into adulthood, where they keep trying to buy acceptance through kindness. Behind the seemingly gentle behavior of the nice guy, almost always lies a deep fear of conflict, judgment, exclusion. He doesn't say yes because he always wants to, but because he fears the consequences of saying no. He avoids setting boundaries not due to lack of opinion, but because he learned that defending himself can cause rejection. This creates a cycle where he drifts further from his own desires, becoming a mirror of what others want. Gradually, he loses authenticity, disconnects from himself, and ironically becomes lonelier, despite being surrounded by people. The nice guy doesn't just want to be accepted. He needs it to feel valid. Praise, smiles from others, recognition, work as small doses of emotional reinforcement. When he pleases and is approved, he feels he exists. But that relief is temporary. Then he needs to repeat the behavior, like an addiction. This dependence makes him vulnerable. He lives in fear of criticism, overcorrects himself, blames himself for everything, apologizes even when he's not wrong. Over time, this posture leads to emotional exhaustion. Being nice stops being lightness and becomes a burden, a load he carries to be accepted, but that distances him from his own dignity. The constant repetition of this pattern has an invisible cost: loss of identity. The person who lives to please others forgets what they truly want, who they really are. Their desires are suffocated to avoid discomfort, their feelings swallowed to keep the peace, their pain ignored so they don't seem needy. Over time, they live for others and forget themselves. This is not generosity, it's self-abandonment. And the cruelest part is that even giving everything, the nice guy rarely feels valued. Because those who never set limits send the message that they have no self-worth. And unconsciously, the world responds with neglect. But the story doesn't end there, because Machiavelli's philosophy offers a brutal yet necessary lens to see what psychology begins to reveal. Kindness without strategy inspires no respect, only utility. Niccolo Machiavelli, when writing The Prince, wasn't interested in how things should be, but how they really are. Unlike many idealistic thinkers of his time, he viewed human nature with cold clarity. To him, people are driven by self-interest, not morality. Kindness, loyalty, and empathy are appreciated, but only when they don't conflict with what others want. This is where his philosophy breaks with naivety. He shows that in the game of power, an image of kindness can be useful, but only if used wisely. Without strategy, kindness becomes weakness. And in this competitive world, the weak don't lead, aren't respected, and often aren't even noticed. One of Machiavelli's most famous phrases is, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Many interpret this as cruelty, but the phrase carries practical logic. People's love is unstable, changing with circumstances, interests, moods. Fear, when it stems from respect and authority, not brutality, lasts longer. It's not about ruling by terror, but about not relying on the unstable affection of others. Being loved is comfortable but fragile. Being respected, even if it costs some sympathy, guarantees permanence. The nice guy seeks to be loved at all costs, and that's why he is discarded once he no longer serves. Machiavelli knew anyone who wants to be taken seriously must show power, not just goodwill. In Machiavelli's view, appearance matters as much as, or more than, reality. He says people judge what they see, not what they can't understand. This means in the real world, good intentions aren't enough. You must appear strong, decisive, reliable. Someone who never asserts themselves is always available and avoids conflict at all costs, projects insecurity. And insecurity to the collective eye turns into irrelevance. Power, in this context, doesn't come from aggression, but from posture. Knowing when to say no, when to step back, what to tolerate and what not to accept, all communicate authority. Those who don't set boundaries don't build respect. Machiavelli was one of the first to say bluntly that social bonds, especially those involving power, are sustained by interest. People don't act solely based on ethics, but mainly on utility. This doesn't mean everyone is cold or selfish, but deep down, even affections are influenced by what the other person offers. And when someone is just good, without strength, firmness, or results, they become predictable and therefore replaceable. Morality alone doesn't guarantee space. The world doesn't reward those who are merely just. It rewards those who are strategically just. Here, philosophy meets reality. Either you understand the game, or you're discarded by those who play better. Because in the end, what defines your position in relationships is not how much you give, but how much you manage to keep your presence as something necessary. Being harmless may seem like a virtue at first glance. Someone who never causes conflict, adapts to everything, doesn't impose, question, or react. But in practice, this attitude is often read as irrelevance. In an environment where everyone tries to assert their presence, the harmless individual becomes neutral, almost invisible. They create no fear, evoke no respect, and over time, even lose the weight of their own opinion. People don't listen to them out of conviction, but out of formality. They aren't considered in decisions, nor remembered when something serious needs to be resolved. Being too harmless is like telling the world, "You can ignore me, I won't react." Many confuse harmlessness with maturity. They think avoiding conflict equals balance. But there is a big difference between maintaining peace and fleeing the responsibility to take a stand. The harmless person doesn't choose silence as wisdom, but as escape. They believe that by avoiding clashes, they're preserving relationships, when in reality they are allowing abuse. Constant omission makes them complicit in their own devaluation. When they don't say what they think, don't react to disrespect, don't show how they feel, they are saying, even without words, that their presence is optional, and everything that seems optional sooner or later becomes dispensable. Society, unconsciously, values those who assert their presence. People who know how to stand up, set limits, and aren't afraid to displease when necessary are seen as natural leaders. Those who always try to avoid conflicts are perceived as weak, even if they are not. Perception is shaped not only by actions, but by how a person occupies their space. The harmless person, in their effort not to bother, ends up diminishing themselves. And paradoxically, the more they try to please, the less people feel the need to keep them around. Passivity turns into emotional absence, and absence into replacement. There's a huge difference between being kind and being irrelevant. True kindness requires awareness, not submission. When someone is kind and firm at the same time, their presence is valued. But when kindness is accompanied by fear, insecurity, or emotional dependency, it loses its effect. The harmless person causes no trouble, but also no impact. And the world doesn't stop to reflect on someone who never asserts themselves. Such people don't generate hatred, but neither do they generate respect. They're there, but they don't make a difference. And this is one of the most painful ways to exist, being present, yet treated as absent. But the key to escape this position exists, and it lies in balancing strength and empathy, where kindness stops being submission and becomes choice. There is a mistaken belief that good people must always be gentle, calm, and tolerant, even in the face of disrespect. That's not kindness, it's conditioning. True kindness doesn't demand submission. It can, and should, coexist with firmness. Emotionally mature people understand they don't need to attack to take a stand, but they also don't need to accept everything just to seem kind. The balance lies precisely in knowing when to yield by choice and when to impose limits out of self-respect. Being good doesn't mean being passive, it means being conscious. Those who learn this stop being manipulated by the need to please and start acting with intention, not fear. Many grow up believing that refusing something is selfish. This leads to a life full of poorly given yeses, resentment, and exhaustion. But saying no is one of the clearest ways to affirm your identity. It's not aggression, it's a boundary. People who can say no without constantly apologizing show they know their worth. A conscious no doesn't push away healthy people, it attracts respect. Those who get offended by your limits usually benefited from your absence. This natural filter is one of the clearest signs of balance. You stop molding yourself to anyone and start surrounding yourself only with those who can live with your truth, offering help, listening, caring, being kind. All of this has value when it comes from a genuine place. But even generosity, when misdirected, becomes wasteful. Balance requires knowing who deserves the best you have to give. Not everyone merits your effort. Some only consume your energy without giving anything back. This isn't about calculating every gesture, but about being selective. Generosity is not an obligation, it's a choice. When you learn to direct your kindness, it stops being a weakness and becomes power. You don't erase yourself, you take a stand with intention. True balance is quiet, it needs no proof. A balanced person commands respect through their behavior, not by force. They know how to be tough without cruelty, firm without aggression, sweet without weakness. This kind of attitude creates an authentic sphere of influence. People feel safe around them. They respect not brute strength, but the coherence between words and actions. Emotional balance doesn't erase feelings, it organizes them. It transforms impulsive reactions into lucid responses. And that is worth more than any theatrical show of power. When this point of balance is reached, kindness stops being a risk and becomes a force that demands presence. And this is precisely what separates those who are disposable from those who become essential. Machiavelli may seem cold to modern eyes, but his view remains relevant. He did not condemn kindness. He only warned against its naivety. In a competitive world, those who are good without strategy end up used and discarded. So, don't stop being good, but learn to be good with intelligence. The kindness that changes the world is not the kindness that erases itself, but the kindness that asserts itself. Those who understand this stop being disposable and become essential.